You would think after this much time passed, people would have moved into their spaces. Well, I suppose I haven't really either. Right. She brought the raccoon into her house. How busy have these fools been? I feel like I haven't seen them in a long time. Power. I still need to prepare myself for this battle, whenever that will be. Is it gonna be weeks from now? Months? How much preparation would I even need? Maybe I'm going about this the wrong way. I'm staying in one place and I'm staying inert. Perhaps I should remedy that. I've explored a lot of this land. Maybe I can start looking around the wider area. Perhaps there's something I haven't found yet. Shaders are off? How did that happen? What the? Boop. Hold on. If I remember correctly, these shaders don't actually take that long to put on. Yup, there we go. Look at that. Okay, well, let's look around a few areas that we haven't necessarily looked around before. Ooh, there's the pirate ship. We could also deal with that. What? I think those are just cool rocks, but how have I not noticed that before? Interesting. Can you answer a Mythos question? Sure. What is this? Welcome to chat, Blue Jay. Is that a fish? I think I saw a fish for a second. Yeah, I think I did. Okay, well, let's see if we can stand any better chance of taking on this. The answer is probably no, but we can try anyway. So I love how I made a boat, but I didn't use it. What is that? Huh? That is remarkably interesting. Aquamarine. Huh. Okay, let's try this. Let's see how far we get. I forgot about those outside. Well, either way. Nothing in here. I remember we opened that last time. Anything down here? There is, actually. Gunpowder. Alright. Based on the fact it took me that long to kill one. Oh, hey. That's interesting. This probably isn't the most fruitful use of my time. Explosives? Well, I know a certain roommate of mine that might enjoy that. Looks like there's more stuff that way. Blow up the ship? No, that just seems entirely pointless. And there goes the axe. Ah, here we are. Finally. As you can see, we completed the quest now. It might be worthwhile to submit that as well. Come on. There we go. Thanks for the hydrate. Break the spawners? That doesn't seem entirely fruitful either. Oof. Whatever. We made it out with our spoils, at least. Maybe we are still incredibly weak. Still, there's much that can be done about that. Alright. Let's bring this spoil over to that child. That's a possibility, Apollo. But I wouldn't say it was like necessarily frequent. There were some times that it's probably in a stream of someone's, but I didn't record it. I got ads. Oh man, what a time to, you know, get ads. Alright. Well, we can use the glaive for now until this weapon's worn down, and then we can see about manufacturing a new one. Blue Jay, thank you for following. There's a lot of creatures. I didn't even think it was that dark. And yet there's still just a crap ton of monsters. Alright. Now we gotta go this way. Was that a bow that skeleton dropped? Well, I guess that can be useful. This really just does seem to be a country of survival. Blue Jay, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for that gifted sub. It seems like almost everything is bent for your destruction. Supposedly, even these chosen are tearing each other apart. Alright, where's the child? Let's see. I believe this was them. Right here. No way you got one! You've got to be the best partner ever! Hopefully next time my mom will let me go with you. And until then, great work. I'll see what I can figure out for our next adventure. In the meantime, relax for a bit. You've earned it. Well, I suppose that did have a payoff. This village, it's dreadfully mundane. And helping it has no real purpose other than a monetary gain. Initially, I thought assisting all the villagers would net me some form of benefit. In the way of, perhaps, advantages, or even connections. But it doesn't seem to lead up to anything. Other than maybe a little extra coin that I may spend within that same village. But there's not necessarily much worth buying. So the question remains, why do I continue to help them anyway? I wonder, was I the type of person that helped people out of the kindness of their heart? An interesting thought, I suppose. I've explored a majority of this mainland. Maybe I could tie time I explore beyond it. I'll have to remember the way back. But that shouldn't be an issue if you pick one direction and stay in it. Just boundless ocean. If I sail too far, I'm gonna get washed out at sea. There's a slime island. Doesn't appear to be the same one we've encountered before. This ocean is ever expansive. There's some form of small island. This is genuinely a boundless ocean. There's quite literally nothing here. It is just water. Okay.
Fine.
Finally.
Yes, you are my little pod jam. Come here.
Blue Jay, thank you for the sub. This is interesting. I'm gonna die before I can even explore the island properly. Actually. Jeez. And I got another bow. Oh, what? What is that? I have to actually avoid these monsters, so we need to keep a wide berth. Especially because I'm not sure what this is yet. Hang on a moment. These are structures. An abundant amount of them as well. How curious. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. What is this location? All things considered, it's actually quite far from the shore. Some form of grove, perhaps? Ruins implies an ancient civilization. But more than that, a civilization that fell. And possibly clues as to why. You find an ancient text. This one appears to be in some better condition. I was supposed to find the different. Hold on, wait. Apparently there's one we missed. What? What obvious thing did I miss? Maybe in that? Uh-huh. Maybe in the arch. Let's check. I do not see anything. Still nothing. Maybe there? Okay, maybe this one. This book is ancient. The pages are practically falling apart, and most of the words are illegible. You notice one worn passage in particular. Today, oh, I cannot read this. Maybe we gather in celebration for something gods. There was something good. Is that the word mom? This other one. You find another ancient text. This one appears to be in some better condition than the last one you found. It also seems to be a religious text. You notice one passage. The world existed in chaos. The world existed in balance. In balance came a god. That god has a name. Aluna, god of balance. The second god. Interesting. This is a fishing rod and a pail. This looks in relatively good condition. Something left out in the ages wouldn't have survived this long. Maybe there's more text around here that can illuminate the situation. And it looks like we're steadily making our way towards that large spire in the back. Looks like there's a building up there. Is that a lit lantern? How would the lantern be lit? This is curious. Another text. This book is incredibly old. You can't make out almost any of the passages. However, you can make out some of the illustrations. They depict animals and insects with no particular connection. Moths, raccoons, and swans. What does this mean? A dilapidated picture book, it seems. What is up here? It seems to be some kind of crumbling wall. Alright. Perhaps this way then. Who is that? What is that they're firing? That's dangerous. I don't know what it is that they're shooting, but it's completely ignoring my armor. Where'd they go? Teleportation? How is that possible? These arts they're using? This is too much. Who are you? Your eyes adjust to the lantern light in the ruined tower as you assess your surroundings. Your hands are bound behind your back, securing you to a wooden chair. A figure stands not far from you, the same figure that attacked you. Took you long enough to wake up? They approach your chair and glare down at you. Now then, I have some questions for you, and you're going to answer them honestly. Who are you? Unimportant. They withdraw a magic tome with a purple cover. They flip through the pages and summon a lavender orb of magic in their palm. Why did you come to this island? I was just trying to look around. You feel their gaze narrow as they squint at you. Alright then. They hold the orb closer to your face to observe your features. What are you? When you don't answer, they specify. By that I mean, are you a civilian? Or are you a chosen? I'm chosen. You notice their body tense at the confession. Which wave? You swear the orb of magic gains a crimson hue and becomes much warmer near your face. You lean back in discomfort. I don't know the latest wave. The figure considers your answer. So, do you have a patron yet? I'm not interested in the gods, or having a patron. They seem surprised by this. Does this mean you wish to forfeit your role in the war? I'm not interested in the war either. I want revenge on whoever took my memories. That's what I'm after. I see. The orb of magic disappears as the figure takes a step back and closes their tome. You don't sound like you belong to either pantheon, which means you can't be one of Raynor's dogs. Sorry about this. I had to be sure. Sure of what? The figure removes their hood to unveil themselves. Sure that you weren't here to kill me. The unknown woman has long, ebony hair that cascades down her shoulders in braids and locks. She has piercing amber eyes that sparkle in the lantern light. Past her cloak, her clothing is colorful, with a puffy-sleeved blouse underneath a corset and several colorful pieces of fabric over a lengthy black skirt. But it seems in my hesitation, I caught an innocent chosen in the crossfire. You don't say. Here, let me get those binds for you. She walks around your chair and unties you. You stand and rub your wrists in irritation. She bows her head. You have my sincerest apologies for the trouble. Who are you? She hesitates. I'm chosen. Like you. And your name is? It's best if I kept it to myself. I don't know who you are or what you may have heard. For now, just forget you ever saw me. She walks towards the exit to the ruined tower. And as far as you're concerned, you came to this island and found nothing but ruins. Understand? Fine. You don't have to answer me. She opens the door. Your things are being kept in my home, the chest underneath the stairs on the first floor. Gather them, and then leave forever. Before you have a chance to answer her, the woman departs. Huh. How interesting. So there was someone here. And they seem to have capabilities beyond that of what I've seen from others. Did they say they had a house? Subtle. Well, I suppose the island's subtle enough. It doesn't look very populated. Well, that would be my belongings. That individual. They're mighty strong. And they seem very capable in battle. They also seem largely intelligent, if not hesitant. Maybe an air of cautious. They didn't tell me more than they needed to know. They didn't release me until they were certain on my allegiance. I must have struck them as blissfully ignorant enough to warrant sparing. That's interesting. That doesn't seem like their belongings necessarily. Perhaps this is ancient debris that they had no use of. This seems a bit more apt. Now, what is this? Day. How long has it been again? I'm not sure. My research hasn't gone well. I haven't been able to find any more books or texts in the homes, besides the ones I've already found. There has to be more in these ruins. Given the manuscripts I've got, I can date it to a time before the First Empyrean War. That's so long ago. What was life back then? Did Chosen exist in the First War too? I doubt it. They seem to be studious to some extent. They also seem to be hiding. Who is this Rainer she speaks of? I wonder what this place is. I wonder what this location is as well. They seem to have taken a keen interest in it. Perhaps I should as well. That figure didn't leave the island, did they? I could very easily just leave. But I'm choosing not to. That is a tree unlike any I've seen. It's intriguing. Maddie Claire, thanks for following. You find the woman standing underneath the massive tree within the marble shrine. She reaches toward a branch and grabs at a cluster of magenta berries. She picks them off the branch and quietly munches on them before heaving a sigh. What is this place? She doesn't jump at your arrival. Nothing important anymore. Something that has long since been lost to time. Much like us. She chuckles at the thought. She then turns to face you. What are you still doing here? I told you to leave. If I can't come back here, then I'm taking the opportunity to look around one more time. I didn't get a chance to see the full island before you attacked me. You must be disappointed. She looks back up at the tree. There wasn't much waiting for you here. It's beautiful. You both watch the branches sway in the breeze quietly. The woman makes no indication to want to start a conversation. I'm curious. Why won't you tell me your name? Because it does neither of us any good. Her jaw tightens. The more you know, the more I'll be putting my neck on the line. It's best that we not form any sort of connection. The less you know, the better. You mentioned someone named Raynor. Who is that? You don't know him. She seems surprised by this. I suppose he's not visiting New Waves in Solar anymore. Consider it a blessing. He's a dangerous character. That's all I'll say on the matter. If you ever manage to run into him, stay on your toes, and never tell him your godly alignment. So how long have you lived on this island? Longer than I'd like to admit. I've been trying to repair some of the damages and clear out the debris. She adjusts her stance to place a hand on her hip. I'm sure there's more to this place than meets the eye, but I haven't been able to find anything out of the ordinary, besides the occasional old journal or manuscript. She puts a hand over her mouth. But that's none of your concern. You're chosen too, right? I am? She purses her lips. Why? What's that matter? How did you learn magic? I taught myself everything I know. I found one of these books at the library in Solara, and made a notebook to document everything I learned as I traveled around the region. She looks back at you. That's all there is to it. And do you have a patron? She nods. I do. When neither of you say anything else, she turns away again. But that's none of your business. Getting a patron wasn't something I did intentionally. It just happened. I'm as uninterested in the war as you are, and I'm not keen on participating in the fight against other chosen who disagree with my own alignment. I see. Well, I don't have any more questions. Good. In that case, don't you think it's about time you left? She walks past you. I'll see you off at the gates. Don't take much longer. So there are others around here. Another chosen. And there's more to this continent than meets the eye. I knew that there was some greater mystery. And just when I feel like I'm on the precipice of unraveling it, the Empyrean Wars. Civilizations that predate them. Gods coming into existence. It's all so curious. Do you all have any thoughts? You say I should stay? This place seems in a significant level of disrepair. Additionally, I don't seem welcome. So I'm curious on how you think that was an option. I agree. It is possible she's lying to us. It would be naive to say that no one has ulterior motives. But still, I don't fully see what reason she has to lie to us at this moment in time. She's been very transparent on her skepticism of us, and very hesitant to share her own identity. If she had something to gain from lying to me, I think she would have been more overt. This place is entirely untouched. I don't have time to debate whether I am in fact insane or not. I'm capable of hearing voices. That is all that's relevant. Whether that means my mind is not intact or is, I care not. Though it does seem there's nothing else to find here. I'm curious on your estimation that we're similar. She seems to avoid fighting. Meanwhile, I am actively pursuing it for whatever reason. The sake of knowledge. The sake of understanding my role. This individual seems to be an abject denier of her role, considering she has proclaimed herself to be isolated. Oh, I suppose we've overstayed our welcome. The woman crosses her arms as you approach the gate. All right. You've had your fun exploring and making idle conversation. It's time for you to leave. She motions toward the ocean that extends toward the horizon. So Laura should be back in that direction. Have a safe trip. I hope to never see you again. Wait a moment. She raised an eyebrow. What? You haven't answered all my questions. I don't have to answer anything. You and I both know if you were to fight me, you would lose. I've spent far more time studying combative magic than you have. She shakes her head. Don't be a fool. Just leave. There's nothing else to talk about. That's exactly why I'm not interested in leaving quite yet. Your magic. It's quite powerful. She removes her tome threateningly. Would you care for another demonstration? I want you to teach me what you know. She's shocked by your demand. Teach you? Why, so you can turn my tricks against me? She shakes her head. I'm not interested in becoming a new chosen's tutor. If you want answers, you'll have to teach yourself. Yeah, I tried that, and it didn't work out. I need a teacher. You're quite persistent, aren't you? She looks you in the face with inquisitive eyes. And how do I know I can trust you won't turn on me the second you have a taste of power? I have no reason to. She frowns. That's not particularly reassuring. However, she begins to think. I suppose you're as blank a slate as they come. You're still new to this region of the world, to this new life as a god's chosen. If you don't learn eventually, then you might. She becomes pale. All right, look. Let's make a deal. What are your terms? I will allow you to remain on this island, temporarily. If you want to learn from me, you need to prove that you're worth the effort. I'm not going to put time and energy into a chosen that won't last a week in the wild. She nods toward the southern side of the island. There is a large oak forest in that direction. I'm not sure why, but the forest is highly populated by a variety of dangerous monsters. There is one, in particular, that's been causing me some trouble. I can't take it on by myself. You're going to help me. If we manage to defeat it together, then I'll consider teaching you what I know. Otherwise, you will leave the island, never speak of our meeting, and never return. Fine. Deal. She doesn't acknowledge your confident agreement. Gather any materials you think you'll need. When you're ready, you will meet me by the tower where I interrogated you. This monster is not to be trifled with. You will take this job seriously if you want to learn from me. Do not keep me waiting long. Whatever you say. How curious. How might we prepare? Having proper nourishment to replenish ourselves during the fight seems advantageous. However, we do not seem to have excess of that. Perhaps a better weapon? Our glaive will do. Besides, it's not as if we can simply set sail across the ocean and back casually. Doesn't seem to be any monsters, at least. I do not think a fistful of berries will suffice. She mentioned the southern side of the island. Is that the area past the shrine? Chickens. But without any way of preparing their meat, there's no point in mercilessly slaughtering these creatures. It's a simple estimation. She seems powerful. I'm in a situation where I can obtain that same power. Her name seems to be Briar. So, underneath that estimation, it therefore follows that if I could take advantage of this unique opportunity and not let it merely go to waste, I should. She has rations. I'm assisting her with her plight. Surely she won't mind me borrowing some food if it means that her problem gets resolved. I can't imagine a reality where that isn't fair. We may begin. Briar, not Briar. So, these are the woods. She is right. There's a large amount of woods. And it is populated by monsters. It's interesting. What is this creature? Is this the monster? I suppose it may very well be. Is that a bear? Seems to be a ship off the shore. Alright, where's this creature? It's another skeleton. Here we are. I don't see anything around here. The woman ducks behind a tree. Hide. You do as she says and poke your head around the trunk. A monstrous form materializes from the shadows. It's tall and lanky, with glowing eyes resting the center of its pitch black face. What is that? I've been trying to figure that out myself. Haven't managed to defeat it either. It's strong, and it makes you feel things. Negative things. She glances back. Don't let it touch you. Avoid making direct contact if you can. Noted. All right. If you're ready, then let's go. She dashes out from behind the tree and withdraws her tome. Right. Here we are. Whoa, okay. Yep, this creature is certainly dangerous. Alright. We'll simply have to do our best. Ugh. This thing is hard to combat. Uh-oh. Ugh. I'm not sure what it is, but it's causing some kind of effect. It's almost like it's trying to rack my body with a paralyzing fear. It takes every ounce of my being to fight against it. Ugh. Well, that's all for our arrows. Our glaive isn't going to last very long. That's troublesome. Have to improvise. Exercise a full arsenal. This creature's tough. Alright. How am I going to continue to fight this thing? I managed to recover an arrow. We have our glaive. Woman grabs you by the arm and pulls you to your feet as the creature growls and roars at you. She squints at it and pushes you away. Listen, it was a nice attempt, but you're clearly no match for it. I should never have asked you to fight it with me. You're not ready. Just leave. I'll hold it back while you make your escape. Thanks for trying. Now, return home. No. No. She looks back at you in shock. What do you mean, no? I'm trying to save your life here. Why does that matter? It's not. We're kind of immortal. You don't exactly die like other people. You don't get it. She shakes her head. Your work here is done. Now, go. I'm not going anywhere until that thing dies. Come on. You think me weak? Pathetic. For a second you would doubt me! If I know nothing about myself, it's that I will not be looked down on. Or underestimated. I'm sure the corpse is keenly aware now. The question is, are you? The woman stares at you in disbelief. You... She's at a loss for words. You're welcome. Why would you do something like that? Don't you know how dangerous that was? She looks you up and down, as though she's trying to search for the answer. You had no reason to protect me, or to continue helping me after I pulled you away. We made a deal. I'm not going back on it. Her eyes widen at your statement. I see. She glances toward the remnants of the creature and frowns. You're stronger than you look. If you were to learn magic, then perhaps... She pauses. All right, then. You've proven yourself enough for one day. I'll teach you. Glad to see I finally convinced you. She puts her tome away and avoids making eye contact. My name is Juniper. Rex. Here. She withdraws a different notebook from her inventory and hands it to you. This was my first notebook that I used to study magic. You can use my notes and learn from them when we're apart. Other than that, if you have more questions or you want a direct lesson, you'll come here. She holds up her finger. However, I have a stipulation. You will not tell anyone about this island, and you won't tell anyone about me. Understood? You got it. Go. I'm sure you have people who are waiting for you. I don't want anyone to worry and go looking for you. I have enough drama to deal with now that you are going to know where I am. She rubs her head. Not to mention, I have a monster carcass to study. Lovely. Good luck with that. I'll see you later. I did not think my random expedition would prove fruitful. And yet here we are. Oh, I see. I'm not entirely certain. I suppose I just got enraged. You spent enough time here for one day. These ruins. They're very curious. But now I also have a reason to revisit this location. For now, we should return home and see what we can study from this tome that we were given. If we can return home, that is. Perhaps this direction? One can hope. Have I not seen that island? This is a worrying amount of ocean. I wonder if I'm even remotely heading in the right direction. I suppose we'll know if we never find land. Or if you find a landmass that looks completely alien. Huh. This forest looks familiar. Could this perhaps be home?
I wonder what cruel irony it is to strip us of our memories but leave us with just enough to know our names. This seems like home. There's more of that strange salt. Our crucible is pointless. Alright. We've obtained a book. How might this function? To begin spellcasting, you first need to obtain a spell book. A spell book will allow you to create, store, and cast spells using mana. A higher tier spell book will provide additional spell slots, allowing you to craft more complex spells. Craft your first spell, you must select the form the spell will take on. Alright, there's a lot of instructions. Ah. This seems to be it. So a book forged from, tools. Okay. Let's give this a shot. The hardest step is probably going to be making the book. Considering I don't think we have any leather, of all things. I might need to go hunt some cows. And some paper. Perhaps it'd be wise to begin collecting our books somewhere where they won't get mixed in with everything else. Alright. Let's obtain some leather and paper. Ugh. Hey, is that paper? No, that's not paper. Ay, ay, ay. Don't forget the squid ink. You need squid ink for a book and quill, not for a normal book. I'm not sure the answer, Cheese Derp. What was in the water? Some large creature that I got terrified of earlier. Okay, I don't see any reeds around, and we kind of need... Oh, wow. I opened my big mouth, and this is not enough. So used to book and a quill? Me too, honestly. I get it. We're gonna have to find a cow. We're gonna have to find some more sugarcane. You think that was a whale? That makes sense. It was huge. I was a shark the first time I saw it for some reason. I don't see any sugarcane. This would be the next Gandalf. I know, I've never actually seen Lord of the Rings, fun fact. Aha, there we go. There has to be some solution to the stamina as well. I guess the solution isn't the necessary term, like enhancement. I didn't realize I could do that. Oh my, I can do that. Yup, I just did it. Alright, that's excellent. Now we head back. Pew! I can dash. Oh no! Yep. Alright, we gotta make a book. A cool special book. It just got a little bit colder. Like, actually, in real time, it just got colder. Hold on, it's not this forest, it's the other one. It's a wolf. I'd throw a dog a bone, but I don't want to make a commitment that's going to last a long time. Oh. These berries are so interesting. Like grapes, but not. Alright. Now let's see what we can do. Okay, step one. I think we need more iron. I'm not sure if we have enough. No, we have enough. Okay. Here's the leather we needed. Here is the paper we needed. That makes a book. Now, fortunately we already have an iron pickaxe in here. What were the other tools necessary? A shovel, a sword, and an axe. Very well. One shovel. One axe. And precisely one sword. There, and there. Alright. What does this do? Oh, that's useful, actually. Wow. Wow, that is impressive. Very well. Now if I open this, I can create spells. So it said something about a form and then an effect. So if I made a self-harm, just for curiosity's sake, no other purpose, it certainly does that. I have successfully created a spell that harms me. And I have no idea how to do anything about that now. Is there instructions on how to open said book? Because, I cannot no longer. Let's see. Open is C. Quick select is V. Next spell is X. Previous spell is that. That certainly does open it. It looks like you can only have one form at a time. What does break do? Breaks blocks of an average hardness. Can be amplified to increase the harvest level. Interesting. Interesting. So that's the self effect. What is this projectile? What happens if I make a projectile harm? Now, what does my tome do? Interesting. This is reminiscent of... Wow, my armor has seen better days, for certain. This is reminiscent of a spell she used on me. I wonder how effective it is. Interesting. Well, it seems like we have a weaponized tome now. Any monsters wish to be subject to my tests? Not incredibly strong. But that's to be expected. I'm a novice mage after all. Perfectly adequate. A tome in which you inscribe arcane words and they cast spells of varying strengths. Color me interested. How interesting. But due to the low magic output, it seems it would still be advantageous to wield my weapon. Huh. Oh, it seems fighting with two-handed weapons will be difficult. Well, now that we've tested that, what would a touch harm spell seem like? No magic effects, but I can only assume that use on a creature would have an effect. Let's see if we can locate one. No immediate creature encounters. That will do. Ah. It ignites upon my hand, colliding with their body. Oh, and it seems highly effective. Power in my palm. This feels uniquely pleasant. Powers that obey my every whim just as keenly as a blade follows the hand. Is that the boon of this world? Uh-huh. Now there's a break spell. I wonder how this exhibits itself. Very simply, and very obviously, it does as advertised. However, what about... Curiously, what does this do? Ah, no effect, but that's to be unexpected. And I can't imagine a practical application, but there it is. Functions as expected. So, based on my surface level estimations, these forms and effects come in the form of glyphs. And these glyphs inscribed in some form of pattern generate different spells. Interesting. Well, I can say with certainty that my curiosity is sated today. Perhaps now is the time to end it, and see what the next one brings. Very well then. Until next time.